the Be OK Center, where Trump will be here on Saturday, resuming his campaign rallies, which have been in hiatus for about 3 to 4 months. We're still 48 hours, 2 days out, and we have people lining up here already to see the president coming up on Saturday. So we're going to go around, we're going to talk to these people, we're going to see why they're here and why they support President Trump.
Just a mom. Yeah, no, I need it.
You did great.
I just make it perfect.
So we have a reoccurring character here. Can you tell us your name for people that don't know you?
My name is Blake, but most people just know me as Brick Suit.
Brick Suit.
Yeah.
Brick Suit. And where are you from, sir?
I'm from San Diego, California.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you came all the way here to Tulsa, Oklahoma for this rally. Why are you here today?
Well, I think it's going to be a really important rally. Not only is it the resumption of rallies and the resumption of this type of campaigning, but there's a lot of new things that I think the president is going to introduce. I would highly expect law and order to be one of them. I think people see what's happening in, I don't know, is it Chaz or Chop?
Both.
What is it today? I don't know. But they see what's happening in Seattle, and they don't want any part of that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. The concept of defunding police is one that there is no way that the majority of American people are behind. And I think that President Trump is on the right path with the executive order on police reform and just continuing to support law enforcement. And again, beyond that issue, there's the issue of reviving the economy and how do we come out of our COVID shutdown in a manner that makes sense and balances risk versus reward and gives people the individual freedom to decide which path they want to do instead of their options being mandated for them by a state or a city government.
So how do you think Trump has handled the pandemic? Were you a little disappointed when he started to advocate for shutting down, or how do you think he's handled it? Have you been impressed?
The thing we need to remember is that we did not have the right information. Let's start with the premise that China lied to the entire world about the origin of the pandemic, about its transmissibility, about how lethal, what everything there was about it, they lied, okay? So we didn't have perfect information. So if I look back at what decisions were made and when they were made and what the political climate was when they were made, I'm very happy with the way the president handled it. You remember that in January, I think it was January 25th when he instituted the travel ban. It might have been the 30th, I'm not sure, but it was late January, and he was so criticized as being xenophobic, as, you know, how can you be so, you know, racist to have a travel ban for China? There was nothing more he could have done at that time. There was no political will for anything measures beyond that. So when we look back about what happened, I think we would do things differently if we had all the information we do now. But at the time, I believe the right decisions were made. So I'm not really disappointed in the way it was handled, but it would have been much better to have, perfect knowledge, but we didn't have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned the economy and Trump. A big theme that we might see on Saturday is him talking about the revival. Are you worried about the economy at all? And what do you think the implications from this shutdown?
I'm worried about the economy to the extent that if we don't get started soon enough, it's going to be more difficult. I think we still have it within ourselves, within the tools that are at our disposal, to get the economy up and running. There's obviously a lot of consensus in Washington to support the programs that are going to make that happen, but it needs to happen sooner rather than later. And we can't all sit at home and wait for the perfect day where the cure is here or the treatment is here, because that will be too long. We need to get going on it. And I think President Trump realizes that, and I think he's absolutely the right person to lead the country back to where we need to get.
So lots of media professionals, lots of medical professionals have come out against this rally, saying that this has the potential to even kill people. We've seen that on CNN.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about those comments?
Well, First of all, they're probably accurate. It does have the potential. If someone who's immunocompromised were to come here, that would be a high-risk situation. But I believe everybody should have the opportunity to assess what risk is right for them. I work in an essential industry. Since this pandemic has hit, I've been working in a public-facing capacity from the very beginning. And that includes January and February, where nobody really knew what the extent was or how bad it was going to be. I've done a few things to modify my behavior. I have this funky glasses strap, which I think looks totally dorky, but my glasses don't fall down on my face, and therefore I never reach up to grab them anymore. So, I've made modifications that I think will help me avoid transmission, and hand washing more frequently is one of those. And, I think people can manage the risk and assess the risk for themselves and decide which path is best for them. I don't believe that can be done on a statewide basis. And that's what that's really where I am on that, and that's the only way it's going to happen. Like I said, if we all have to wait in our houses in a bubble until there's a viable treatment or a viable vaccine, the economy is going to be stone cold dead and incredibly hard to revive at that point.
Absolutely. Now, your suit resembles the 2016 campaign of Build the Wall.
Correct.
How do you feel Donald Trump has done with that immigration issue?
Well, first of all, I don't think the wall is about immigration. I support the wall for its ability to interdict illicit narcotics coming into our country and to reduce human trafficking. For me, it's not really about immigration. It does have a little bit of an effect on immigration, but only on people who have been previously deported and can no longer gain entry through a valid port of entry. They can no longer get back in the United States. So it stops them. To get to your question about how he has done, I believe he has done as well as possible with the tools that he's been given. And by that, less than perfect support from the first 2 years from Paul Ryan and the Republicans in the House, and complete opposition from the Democrats after that. But still, he found a way to reallocate money from the defense contracting budget for national defense, defending the borders, and repurposing it towards building the wall. So I believe he's done as well as possible. To the extent that it's not done or not as completed is not his fault. He's constantly been trying to get that done, and I think he's done as well as he could.
So he's very much for restricting illegal immigration. If Donald Trump would call for more immigration, would you boo him on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
If he would call for more immigration, that's a pretty interesting hypothetical. I would wait to hear the reasons. One thing I've learned is that there have been times where he's come up with something that I've opposed, and then later I've changed my mind. I think he has more information about these topics than I do, and I'm by no means an expert in any of them, and so I give him the great benefit of the doubt there. Would I be surprised? Yes. Would I boo? No. But I would wait to hear the explanation.
One more question. Now, you mentioned you're from California.
Yes.
And you mentioned the defunding of the police. Lots of leftist movements are advocating for defunding or moving funds around. Are you seeing in your hometown a call for a defunding of the police at all?
No, I'm not. But I do think that there's a reasonable conversation to be had about funding different types of response for situations that are not criminal, that maybe somebody is off medication, that there's someone at risk that is not necessarily a criminal threat. I think that there probably is room to develop policy for that, where the people intervening are not necessarily law officers as they are now. I think that's a viable first starting point. But in San Diego, the defunding of the police, there are people calling for it, but it's nothing like it is in Minneapolis, where they've actually voted to do it, or Seattle, where they've apparently abdicated, ceded control over the heart of their city to, what's their warlord's name, Chaz or somebody like that.
Are you worried that that's a movement that's going to catch on and spread around to different big cities at all?
I'm not, because anybody who sees that, any rational person who sees that, understands that it's completely idiotic. I think it's a great demonstration point. And honestly, if you look at my support of border walls, one of the first things they did when they seized their so-called autonomous zone is set up their own border walls. It's almost as if they know that walls work. And so it only underscores that point. So I don't think that I don't think that is something that anybody in the United States really wants to emulate in terms of citizens of any city. Certainly there will be aspects in Portland and other cities that have a strong leftist contingent, but I don't believe that any serious amount of citizens anywhere would support that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking to us, Blake.
You're welcome.
You've been here for quite a while at different rallies, and that's fun.
Looking forward to another one. I think it's going to be a great rally. A lot of good themes coming out of this one.
Awesome. Well, thank you for talking to us.
You're welcome. Take care.
Yes. Cool. So we have some people here, 2 girls actually, who are incredibly talented. They've been out here since early in the day. They write different songs about different issues. They wrote a song about slavery, but now they just wrote a song about Trump's re-election in 2020. So we are going to talk to them both and see why they're here and what inspires them to write these songs, and hear a couple of those songs as well. So let's go walk over and we'll talk to them. Set here. If you guys could introduce yourselves.
Okay. Here, let me get this thing up and going and make sure it works.
My name is Camille, and this is my sister Haley, and we're from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hello. And we met you guys just a little bit ago, and you guys you're pleasant hosts, so it's very wonderful.
So why are you guys here today? 2 days early before the rally.
2 days early, yes. Okay, so we came yesterday to film our music video to our new song, Keep America Great. And we put out the live version. One second. We put out the live version on YouTube, and somebody got a hold of it. Mark Kay on Facebook. He's a conservative talk show host, and he got it to almost 500,000 views. And so that started going on like that. And then news started calling us, and way back in 2012, we wrote a song for Rick Santorum, because we are conservative Christians who believe in using our voice and our platform to elect good people in office that will uphold godly standards in our country, So anyhow, then we came out here for a music video. Just yesterday. And we were just hoping on hope that there would be enough people. We heard that people were camping out, and so hoping on hope that they would be in our music video and be, the sign wavers and the flag holders and everything. And so the people that decided to do it, they're gonna be in the video, and they're gonna probably be happy they did. And so we're excited, and so we've made a lot of friends out here. So anyways, we came out here to do that, and then we ended up talking to news people. And then today, Channel 2 from Tulsa said, hey, let's meet at the BOK Center. So they did a story on us. But then there's so many people like you and everyone else here that have wanted to do stories on us, and so it's been a big blessing and a lot of fun meeting fun people like the Brick Wall Man. So
let's go over here where it's a little bit less windy.
Sure. Yeah.
So what drew you guys to support Trump? What are some issues that you guys really stand behind him on?
Okay, well, we love that we have a free society and that we are not a socialist country. We have a right to vote our presidents in. We have a right to vote, period, And so we don't want to become a socialist country. And people that live in socialism, so many people have, I guess, I don't know if it's escaped, but after they have left their socialist country, they say, you do not want socialism. Stop. Do not let your country go down this way of brainwashing towards thinking this is good, And so we want to live in a free society where you're free to worship God, and you're free to vote for people, and you're free to use your voice. You can even dissent in America, and that's an amazing thing that a lot of places in the world they don't have. If you think differently than the government, you might just be wiped out, And so, Trump he's an amazing president, and I look at so many things that he does, and promiseskept.com, you just read through and you're like, my goodness, what has he been getting done while people are trying to impeach him? He is just continually fighting for America. And so we wrote a song about him. And what else do you like about President Trump?
I like that he is Christian. We are Christian. I think Christian values work. That's what America was founded on, religious freedom, but it was 10 Commandments, and that's been taken out of schools and, taken out of society, and he's putting it back in, and we support that. Why wouldn't we?
So lot of people want to bash him about his whole life or any mistake he's ever made, but he just became a Christian like right before he ran for president.
Right.
And so he's had barely any time to, start have his new life. But as Christians, we do believe that you are a new creation in Christ, and we will have any person. All of us have sinned and fallen short of God's perfection, But any Christian, we will say yes. You're accepted into the family of God. We forgive you. Like, start renewing your mind with the Bible, and you can be made new. And it's when we don't renew our mind that we fall into old habits and things. And so we don't, we don't judge our president. We pray for him. So a lot of people just want to throw stones. The Bible says he who is perfect.
Right, let a perfect man cast the first stone.
And so we believe that he has the right vision for America. I mean, look at what he's done to the financial state of America already. Billions and billions of dollars, have come to America, and it's absolutely amazing what happens, when the right person is doing the job. And so we are very thankful, and, in America right now, people are being taught to, first of all, just disrespect authority, period, which is not good for anybody.
Right.
The Bible,
No authority, no police.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous.
The whole nation's going to fall apart with no enforcement.
That's a great way to become a socialist country. Just have so much crazy happening because everybody doesn't have any protection, and then everyone's just going to turn in their rights to the government and become socialist. So, yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah, we're very passionate about our president. We've been on camera a lot today, so we're like a little lack of energy. But so they come from a family of 8 kids. Our parents used to be pastors, and now we just all work. We do cabinet refinishing, and we work hard, and we want a president who values citizens and doesn't want to take a lot of their hard-earned money away and give it to people who don't deserve it, who don't want to work, And so we're very pro getting people off welfare as much as possible. I'm so blessed that we have something in place that will help people that are disabled. That's a blessing, and people who literally cannot work for themselves. What an amazing thing that in other countries, sometimes people that they can't work for themselves, they literally just beg on the streets the rest of their life. Praise the Lord that America, we care for our weakest citizens, But a lot of people have become made weak because the government gives them just enough to get ahead, and then in the previous, apparently the work requirement for welfare was taken away. That's really smart, right? So it's just like you have to give people. People need to be working. Everybody needs to work. Self-respect, self-dignity comes when you put your own hands to the plow, and you get in there and you make your own money. In Nashville, there's a homeless newspaper. I forget what it's called. We were out there because we sing. We've been to Nashville a lot. And remember what that was called? Anyhow, they have homeless people. They buy the newspaper for 25 cents, and then the homeless people, they go on the side of the streets and they sell them for $1. And so then they feel like I've worked for this. I gave 25 cents and I get $1 back. And so they get into that whole capitalistic thing, that you can make your profit, you put some money in, and they get self-dignity, and then people will just give them money and buy a paper every single day to help them out. And these people get off the streets. They have in the paper, they have writings of people's poems and stories about how they got, stopped being homeless. So our government, I think, should help people to get off welfare, to get off the streets, and I think Trump wants that. We've seen the lowest unemployment numbers in either so long or in forever, I don't know. But it's just the more you read about him, if you actually do your homework, if you actually want to have an unbiased view and think, okay, is there anything good our president has done? Is there anything? If you can't come up with one good thing the president has done, you are definitely biased, and you need to know that that is not good for you, because that means you're blocking out a lot of other good things in life as well. And so you gotta wake up, young Americans, young conservatives, young patriots. If we don't decide that America is worth saving, we will lose it, and we will pay for it. And we'll be the people saying, wow, people told me about it, I just thought it was a joke. I just thought life was going to be the same for all time. I didn't know that I was actually living in the time that I could have made a difference with my voice, and I chose to meme on Twitter and Instagram. Really, our meme generation. I love memes. All the COVID memes are funny, you know what I mean? But people would rather they would rather hate than create these days, Don't create solutions, just make fun of everything, make fun of all people, And so we're doing something about what we believe, We're willing to put a lot on the line, It's a lot on the line to be a Trump supporter these days, just because people are so intolerant of a different view than theirs. And even if it's the right view or a lot of the right view, if you have a pre-idea that Trump's a racist and sexist and blah, 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 sometimes you just stick with malinformation. And so we've decided not to be a sheep and to look for ourselves, you know. And so that's why we're doing this. And we believe in America so much that we're willing to put our music career. You know, you get so much hate, and you just say, wow, okay, whatever. At least the message of patriotism is going out. But here's another thing. Tell them about the undercover Trumpers that we have been discovering through this journey.
Oh, well, just today, somebody sent us a picture of their MAGA hat and said they live in LA, and if they posted that photo, they would lose half their friends. You know, you shouldn't have to. You can be on the left side and post anything you want, and then everyone's like, who doesn't agree with you? Just like, they don't really know the right thing. But on the other side, they're hateful. They call you a cult. They go all out, and we're just supporting a candidate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not everybody's hateful, and not everybody's joyful. It's just that there's it's very interesting to get bullied for just standing up for what you believe is right, and you don't see a lot of that. I mean, maybe if someone's on the liberal side, they see a lot of Republican hate, I don't know, or conservative hate. But really, we need to put God first as a country, return to believing in something, a standard of the Bible, you know, not just like, I make up my right, you make up your right, you make up your wrong, you don't believe that's wrong. Okay, I respect your beliefs. It's like, you respect it until it hurts you. You know what I mean? We all have a code, and we have an honor code, and it's God's honor code. We don't get to make up our own rules in this life. And when we do, we get what we have. And so we are fighting for freedom. We're fighting for morality. And we're fighting for America. We're fighting for people who don't even agree with us. You know, we love liberals. We love independents. We love conservatives. You know, we love people that don't have the truth of God yet. That's why I tell people about Jesus all the time. And so we're excited about America, and we want to share that love. We want to share that excitement. In America, I have so much hope for America. You know, I waver sometimes, but I have hope for America because that's why I'm standing up, because I believe that even if there's evil planned for America, even if they would like to take away the freedom, even if people hate our Constitution and think it's irrelevant, like other countries copy our Constitution because it's so good, but in America we think it's like it should be all spit on and replaced. Who is telling you that? Wow. Who is trying to get you to hate America? Think about them and look at their Twitters. Are they cussing? Are they talking about sexual things? Are they posting things that are just naughty and bad? Are they a person you want to emulate? Is that really, are they disrespecting the president? Are they in communication with their parents? Like, what kind of person are you listening to? Right. You have to judge the source, and what is their future agenda, you know? So I think a lot of people are waking up, and Trump supporters are rising up, and so we want to give people, you know, some courage to not be afraid of getting bullied. How ridiculous. We're not afraid. You know what it does when you stand for Trump? You find out
who your friends are.
Who your friends are.
Like, unfriend. I'm like, wow.
They're like, unfriend you, and they're like, wait, we've been friends since like, or you were blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we've been friends since like we were kids. Like, this is really how you're gonna treat me, like online?
At least private message, you know.
So it's really funny. Anyhow, it's not funny, but it's funny enough.
Right. Funny's it's a politically correct word.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we would love to hear your music and what you got, and so here we are.
Okay. Well, we're
Just introduce your names again.
Sure.
We are Camille Harris, Camille, and Haley,
Haley.
Yes.
Great. Where are you guys based out of?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Got it. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Here we go.
Start over.
Okay, this is called Keep America Great. We wrote it. We just finished the studio version recently. Here it is.
Keep America great. Keep America great. Gotta stick to our guns. Keep the freedom we want. Keep America great. There will never be another USA. Freedom won't come back if we give it away. It's time to vote. It's time to pray. Let's join as one. Let me hear you say, vote Trump 2020. Go Trump 2020. Vote Trump 2020. Vote Trump. Keep America first. Keep America strong. We are all in the fight for our God-given rights. Keep America 2020. Vote Trump. 4 more years. Come on, everybody. 4 more years. Come on, everybody. 4 more years. Come on, everybody. 4 more years. There will never be another USA. Freedom won't come back if we give it away. It's time to vote. It's time to pray. Let's join as one. Let me hear you say, vote Trump. 2020. Go Trump. 2020. Vote Trump. 2020. Vote Trump. Keep America great. Keep America great. Thank you.
Great.
Keep America Great. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you guys have one more that you guys would like to share at all?
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Slavery? Let me see.
And if
Let
you
me
could tell
see.
us about just the story behind this song and how that was inspired as well.
Definitely. Okay, so I don't have a capo, so I'm gonna have to figure out the chords on this. But I
No,
do
no,
have
you
the
don't have to play it.
soundtrack.
You don't have to play it.
Okay, so we wrote this song back in, when did we write this? Probably around 2012 or
I don't know.
2011. Anyhow, and so we went to church. Church is a great place to get a lot of information about the outside world. And so we found out there's a lot of human trafficking going around the world, a lot of sex trafficking. And so we said, you know what? We want to do something about that. And so I wrote a song, and I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, give me some words for this, you know? And so this song has been, used for different places around the world to help fundraise. We were flown out to California to do a fundraiser for this, for an organization that was freeing girls over the country, in other countries. And so it's called Slavery. And so here it goes.
Here we go.
We got our speaker.
Somebody help me, please. I grew up like the other girls, full of dreams. I'm growing up and marrying Prince Charming, but all my dreams are stripped away suddenly into a life of slavery. And we can do something instead of acting like it's not really happening. So what can I give? What can I raise? What can I tell? What can I sell? What can I do to save you from another day of hell? I'm feeling so betrayed today, sold away by my own family, living, dying, it's the same. Is anybody hearing the prayers I pray? Am I forever locked away in slavery? And we can do something instead of acting like it's not really happening. So what can I give? What can I raise? What can I tell? What can I sell? What can I do to save you from another day of hell? Could have been your daughter, your mother, your sister. Could have been you. Oh, it could have been your daughter. Could have been your mother. Could have been your sister. Could have been you. It could have been your daughter. Could have been your mother. Could have been your sister. Could have been you. What can I give? What can I raise? What can I tell? What can I sell? What can I do to save you from another day of hell? I grew up like the other girls, full of dreams.
Wow, guys, wow. Those are beautiful songs. Now, we talked a little bit beforehand, all of this, you guys were talking about another song that you guys are hoping to work on. If maybe you guys want to just touch on that topic a little bit about the pro-life issue.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
and,
Okay, we
yeah.
could not be more excited to talk about pro-life because this is the slavery of our day.
Right.
And one day everybody's going to wake up and they're going to say, wow, how did we ever let that be acceptable? People were literally fighting. I just heard from the GOP. People in the Civil War for slavery, people had fighting, and they lost 600,000 Americans over trying to keep slavery legal. And they fought hard for slavery.
Wow.
And they thought they were right. And they were killing their own people over keeping slaves. How horrible. And now we can all wake up, and this is still the issue today. Everyone's horrified by slavery, obviously. And so, but we murder babies, dismember them. We see videos of what these people do. Ex-abortionists who are completely appalled. Roe v. Wade people who were used as pawns for these things and now are pro-lifers and said, I didn't want this, I was used. You know, you can go into liveaction.org. Absolutely amazing. They've uncovered Planned Parenthood. They have gone in undercover with investigations. 2 years. Kamala Harris hired people, broke into their house to steal their footage. Luckily, they had backup footage. You know what I mean? So such corruptness going on in America with killing our littlest citizens. Absolute atrocity, absolute ridiculousness. How could any American, how can any child, how can any young adult seeing what's going on be okay with it? But we have a sexual revolution that happened a long time in our country, and people don't want to be responsible for what they do with their bodies. They'd rather literally murder a baby, and people would rather make money off of babies than tell you it's wrong and just to wait till marriage. Whoa! Start a family. Here's the 3 things to not be poor in America. What is it? The 3 things are to not have sex till you're married, or to not have a baby till you're married. And what are the 2 other things? Have a job and graduate high school. If you do those 3 things, graduate high school, don't have a baby till you get married, and have a job, you are going to succeed in America.
Larry Elder said that, right?
Yeah, Larry Elder. I'm a big fan. I follow all kinds of black conservatives. Candace Owens, Larry Elder, Terrence K. Williams, the Officer Tatum. Woo! We were at work the other day. We were doing cabinet refinishing, and we're just like listening to Officer Tatum in our AirPods, and we're just like, yeah, we got devil AirPods. We could listen to stuff at the same time I work. We're like, yeah, this is good stuff. This is truth. So, yeah. So we're big pro-lifers, and that's part of the reason we want Trump so much, is because for one of all, Mike Pence attended March for Life. I think was it 2017? I'm not sure. And then President Trump is the first sitting president to ever attend March for Life. I believe that was in January 2020. Absolutely amazing. We are going to win this war for life in America. And one day, anybody that stood and was part of the corruption of abortion, people will be like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. You thought that was okay. You're kidding me. Tear babies apart and harvest their bodies for money and tell everyone that it's not a baby. It's literally like I went to an abortion pro-life place that the lady used to be helping doctors be an abortionist. And they would tell the people, oh, you don't know what it is. It could be a baby. It could be it could be a giraffe. It could be a squirrel. You don't know what it is. And it's like, everything else has babies after their kind. Americans do. Humans do too. And it's just like to brainwash other nurses and to desensitize them into thinking that it's okay to murder babies and call them giraffes. That's like so like dehumanizing. It's like this should be like shouted everywhere, like stop abortion in America, stop murder of the innocent. Like we're giving them no chance. And you know what, overpopulation? Now they're finding out that underpopulation is more of a problem than overpopulation in the world. They're encouraging now people in different countries have families, have children, because they're seeing that there's this big gap in the age groups, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Overpopulation is the biggest hoax. Do not listen to those lies. And so people are seeing it's falling apart. And so so we're passionate about President Trump, and he stands with life. Praise the Lord. The Planned Parenthood just made Biden their official candidate. So that's the Democratic Party this year, and pretty much years before is going for abortion. And I can never stand with that.
Right.
That's nothing. I could never stand for that. As a matter of fact, someone just said, don't you know there's OBGYNs, and they've done investigations, and they call the abortion clinic, hey, can I get this mammogram? Oh, I'm sorry, we don't do those here. You know what I mean? And so it's just like recorded phone calls, corruption. Wait, do the bell. You know what I mean? So abortion will be legalized, and I'm excited about it because this is wrong. This brings bad things on our country. If we can kill, Mother Teresa said, if you are okay with killing your unborn, you're okay with killing the littlest ones, you can't tell anyone else not to kill anyone else. And look what we're seeing in America. Killing. No conscience. No conscience. What I want, I get. Like my little niece. Yeah, just the other day, just crying and screaming for whatever she wanted, and someone has to tell the people, no, you can't do that. Right and wrong exists, God exists, and American liberty is something to preserve. So,
So that's
we're
the next song to
excited.
come.
That's the next song. It's pro-life.
And
As you
I
can see,
think-
you hit a hot point for me.
I think we also might write a song about adoption because people sometimes don't think of that option, but that is a really good alternative. So.
As someone who was adopted, that sounds really, really encouraging. So thank you so much for sharing your story, for sharing your songs. It's really great hearing from you. I know people are loving watching this. So thank you guys for
Thank
coming
you.
out. And it was so nice to meet you. Absolutely.
Yeah. They
Absolutely.
can find us at Camille and Haley. Camille and Haley, anything that's our handle, at Camille and Haley. So
And you have beautiful eyes.
beautiful. Conservative sisters who love Jesus and love America.
That's right.
And love the unborn.
Well, good luck. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Yes.
You're so sweet.
Yes. God bless.
You guys are so
Awesome.
blessing.
So we're gonna keep moving here. We got more people now here down the street.
Wait, look at this. Yeah, they go.
That might have been one of the biggest flags I've ever seen other than Perkins. Very cool. Sir, now where do you find a flag this big?
China.
Awesome. So what brings you out here today, sir?
What brings me out here?
2 days before the rally.
We, that's Front Row Joe's.
Trump guy just came down through here with their camp, one of their deals. He's got the deal. They're moving us 2 blocks down here, and that's the order.
Yeah, but we don't have to move you out.
So yeah, why are you here, sir?
Well, as a Front Row Joe, we come here early so that we can be set up to help make sure that people that come to their first rally have fun, enjoy it. We help kind of keep things organized and be a cheerleader. This particular rally is going to be what I call our bell ringer rally because it's the first one back after the lockdowns, but it's also going to be the rally to show that our country and the world that it's time to reopen, to get back to living, to get back to a normal life, okay? Yes, COVID has taken some people's lives. You know, a lot of things in life get taken. But the thing that's hurt us worse, though, is our own personal ability to take a risk that we choose. I mean, our ability to take a risk was taken away. You know, each time I get in the car, and if I don't put my seatbelt on, I'm taking a heck of a risk if I get hit and have a head-on collision that my injuries were going to be much greater. But you know what? That's a risk I live with. And that's a risk I'm willing to risk. And that's what I feel most of us Americans that want to get the country open back up is to allow us to be adults, allow us to measure what is acceptable risk for ourselves. Okay? My risk isn't going to be acceptance, isn't going to be the same as your risk acceptance. And across the country, the risk assessment of people like in Minneapolis, Minnesota is not going to be the same as me living out in the country in southwest Minnesota on a 5-acre acreage with 7 dogs and no neighbors for 3 miles around. All I have is cornfields and my dog. You know, so my ability to want to get back to being normal is that, you know. And I just don't believe that somebody's choice of being scared should take away my rights, okay? If they want to be scared and nervous, that's fine, you know, but don't take my rights away because you're scared and nervous.
So were you disappointed that President Trump has allowed the country to be on lockdown for so long, or how do you feel that he's handled this?
Well, I feel he did a decent job because what he did was, you know, he could have taken that power and held on to it and then directed every state and everything all the way through. But what he wanted to do, he wanted to, well, Oh. Hey, be quiet over there, guys. Calm him down. That's just terrible. Hey, how you doing, guys? It's all right.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's all right. Just leave me. So, I believe, he gave that power to the governors, and some of them, about half of them did what they were supposed to do. They took their power, and what they were supposed to do is take their power and then pass it down to the city and the county area, and then county areas pass it down. Some counties are large, and so they could break it down into a subdivision area, because that'd be. But then again, we had some power-hungry Democratic governors that said, "Oh man, I can do this now. Look what I can do with this power," and they kept that power right there for like Minnesota, right there in Minneapolis, and making rulings and whatever, saying my life of what I'm doing has to match what they were trying to keep them from doing up there in Minneapolis. And it's like, why? Especially when the fact was, I can go 15 miles to the south and I go into Iowa, and I was able to go into a bar and have beer, get my hair cut, 15 miles. And then I realized I stopped, and one day I just stopped and I watched it. I seen the coronavirus coming. As soon as it got to the Iowa border, we can't go into Iowa, and turned around, went back into Minnesota. I said, that's one hell of a virus. Look how he just stopped right there at the border, So, but anyway.
Are you afraid of catching coronavirus while being here at all?
No. Not at all.
What's your response to mainstream media, figures as well as medical people that are saying that people at this rally are going to cause more deaths and a spike in coronavirus?
Well, let me flip it. Why didn't they, when all those protests were going on, why didn't they bring that up? Did you notice there was no coronavirus update for those 10 days, 13, 14 days, not one? They didn't, none of the CNNs and all the other, none of them said, look at them, that social, they were, look at them, so wonderful, their peaceful protests while they're lighting a building down and burning them 3 blocks. They're peaceful protests, and they're doing what they're supposed to do, They didn't mention it. As soon as our president and the campaign team said, hey, we're going to have a rally. Woo! Trump's going to kill his base. He's going to kill everybody off. He's going to have a big reinsurgence. No. You know what? That's what, this is the other way I look at it. This is going to prove that we can be wide open. Because there's not going to be a big outbreak from us for this, okay? Maybe 1 or 2 people might get sick, but I highly doubt it. I think we're going to be a lot more healthier than not. And then people, of course, the media is going to say, how'd they do that? Something's wrong here. They all should have been dead. They should all be on respirators, and they're, hauling off to Tulsa, living on Tulsa time. So it's going to be an important thing, because that way the country can see, look what they did. They were in an enclosed area. They're not letting people have concerts, okay? So this will be a way for musicians to say, you know what, I'm ready to get our concerts going again, or the country or the states that have that, so people aren't worried about it. So yeah, we might be a test subject, but you know what, I ain't worried about being a test subject, because I know I'm going to be healthy and I'm going to be fine. So.
What do you think of the leftist push for voting by ballot, absentee ballot, because of the coronavirus? Are you going to be voting in person, or are you going to request a ballot?
Oh, absolutely, vote in person. I mean, like our great press secretary, Kaylee said, hey, if it's safe enough to go out and protest, it sure must be safe enough for us to go vote. Okay, and that's 5 months away, 4 months or whatever. I mean, quite a ways away yet. Okay, quite a ways away yet. So, but I do not want. Yes, they are people that will have legitimate reason to vote by ballot. They'll be absentee or whatever. And that's understandable. But for a blanket, everybody just mail these ballots out. it's uncontrollable. There's no way to ensure legitimately correct votes and everything else. There just is not. So,
Well, thank you. Can you tell us your name again, sir, and where you're from?
here, let me do this. Let me do this. I'll just give you my card.
Oh, sure.
So, that one's bit up by my dog. That one bit up by my dog.
So you're from Minnesota?
Yeah.
And you came all the way here to Tulsa?
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Perfect.
There's all my- yep.
Randall. Perfect.
Yep. And if you decide you want a dog sometime, you...
Oh, lovely.
And there
Thank
you go.
you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, sir.
There you go. Bang, bang. All right.
Appreciate it. You have a good time.
You too. God bless you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are here. If you can tell us your name and where you're from, sir.
My name is Tyrone Grayson, and I'm from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Was raised in Wagner, Oklahoma. Went to school in Wagner, graduated in '09, and I'm a certified welder. And have 4 lovely kids, love living life. And I love America, which is my country, which is, I salute every single body, black, green, white, purple. And got a lot of stuff going on with the president coming to the BLK Center. We got Juneteenth tomorrow, which is 4 years of slavery that happened years ago, which is Black Life Movement is tomorrow, which is ain't no doubt a lot of stuff is going on, and I just hope a lot of people be at peace and understanding and make America great again.
So what are some issues that you really support Trump behind? What are things that really drew you to him in your support?
What drew me to Trump is that, for one, jobs, and what he fighting for is like, the field, like particularly oil field. When it comes to, it's low right now, but he making things happen, but it's not overnight. Ain't nothing happens overnight. That's just life. But as 4 years being president, I think he's doing a good job so far. Which is, I'm not no Republican, I'm not no Democrat, I'm not no independent, I'm just me. Someone who God created me to be, just me. So that's what I think about it. And all of this youth and stuff, this youth that's coming along, this generation, like just carry this stuff on to make the American great. They education is number one. To anything that you want to be in life, you could do it as young. And that's what the future holds, because we are parents of our kids, and their future holds within we do. So like I said, no matter what, I always say no to drugs though.
So presidential candidate Joe Biden was on the Breakfast Club podcast where he said, you know, to a wide African American audience, if you vote for Trump, you ain't black. How would you respond to him in that comment?
How would I respond to him in that comment? If you vote for Trump, you ain't black. My comment that I'm going to comment on that is somebody that's uneducated, somebody who is all about themselves, which is it's just ignorant behavior. But you got to look above that and rise above it. And when you look at people like that, that's why who you are today. You look at stuff like that. It ain't gonna hurt me. I'm human. I serve the same God everybody else do. Ain't nobody different. I don't believe in profiling. I don't believe in racism. Nothing. So I just think that's his opinion, and that's what I think.
How do you feel how has President Trump handled this situation what would be your message to people who are on the fence because of the situation that is happening, the Black Lives Matter movement, are on the fence about Trump because they think that he's racist and that he hates this group and this group? What would be
these out. That's why he's president of the United States of America. And I know that it's not can't just be him. You got to go through the senator. You have to go through the Congress, and there's so much fight when it comes to presidential. It don't happen overnight. So that's why I'm saying. So it's just number one thing. When it comes down to it, you just got to do what you have to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you so much for being here.
You were so welcome.
Right part, huh?
You still recording?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
You're still good. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I appreciate y'all too. What's your name?
I'm Allie J.
Okay, I'm Ty.
Ty. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Go by Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Nice to meet y'all.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
We're gonna go scan the crowd a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
How can I got a Facebook? You want to add me on Facebook and send something to me?
Yeah, she'll let you. Hey guys, this is Matt Perry with Breitbart behind the camera. Just showing you, basically there's a little bit of a tent city here. If you look down the line here, you can't really even see the end of it yet, but there's, I don't know, about a couple dozen tents here, maybe a dozen, a little more than that. I think they're moving their stuff up a couple of blocks right now. Police might have asked them to move that way a little bit, so we're gonna find out what's going on. But yeah, basically they've set up a little tent city 2 days in advance. I'm not sure if it's even a formal line yet, so we'll see. But here, guys, if you like this video, share it with your audience. We're really appreciative of all of you guys, all the viewers out there. We love you all. We appreciate all you guys tuning in. We're going to stay here for quite a while tonight and show you all the action, talk to a bunch of the Patriots here, and get their perspective, hear from Trump supporters on 2 days before a Trump rally. So, we got all kinds of flags out here. So I'm just going to scan, give you guys some shots to show you a little bit of the atmosphere here. All right, so why don't we find some people to talk to?
Yeah,
but
for
first,
sure.
let's walk around. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got word a little bit earlier this evening that Secret Service, they're going to start making this a sterilized zone. So we're going to see people kind of move out of this area that they've been at in front of the BOC Center. So we're going to talk to some more people along the way, and yeah, we'll keep grooving. So let's go.
All right.
People been tweeting about what you guys said on Breitbart. I guess it's already up, right?
Yeah, we're live right now. So.
Are you kidding? It's live right now?
Yeah.
You guys are the bomb. This place is great. Hello, Breitbart. Yeah, Breitbart.
We'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
Make sure we get their information. Okay, let's preview the. Is it good? All right. Great.
Okay, we're back. So if you could, again, just tell us why you're here and about your
I'm just here because I don't want people in Tulsa getting sick. We've done really well so far with the coronavirus, keeping our numbers low here in the area. And recently they've started going up. I know we've been reopened and the rallies going on and all sorts of stuff. And I'm sure that's adding to it and everything. I understand that. I'd just rather not add to it unnecessarily. And I feel this event will have undesirable consequences to it. So I just don't want the people of Tulsa getting sick. I've told several people I'm more so focusing on I don't want people sacrificing their health. And I've tried to stay as non-political as I can be. It's the only way I've lasted out here as long as I have. Because I've been here every day since Sunday. I've been here 5:30 to 8:30 every day since Sunday. And I'm just not engaging with people because I'm not here to get all political and argue my point and stuff like that. I just don't want people getting sick, and I'm trying to just leave it at that.
And now, just kind of what we've been seeing now the past couple weeks with the Black Lives Matter protests, would you say that your message also goes out to them, or do you think it's a little bit of a different situation?
Well, the different situation with them, like I said, I'm sure it may add to a little bit of things going up, but all of their events are outside. All week that I've been here, there's been a constant 15-mile-an-hour breeze the whole time I've been here. Until today, when people really started to fill the square here, I haven't really felt the need to wear a mask because I was the only person here. So it really wasn't a big deal. But now all of a sudden we have vendors and everything all over the place, so I felt like I should probably put it on. But even when you had the Black Lives Matter protests, most of them are wearing masks. It's still outside. I just think having it indoors, shoulder to shoulder, is not the greatest idea.
So the Trump campaign has said that they're going to be handing out masks,
I think it's great.
And you think it's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think some other ways that the campaign could be doing better when it comes to?
Well, the problem is they'll be handing out masks, but nobody's going to be requiring anybody to wear masks, and the probability being that they'll enjoy getting the mask so that they have a souvenir to take home from the event. And that's what it'll be. It'll be a souvenir. It won't be used as a mask.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for talking to us, sir. I very much appreciate hearing your side of the story. So thank you.
I appreciate you guys. Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
All right, so where are these people headed?
Seems as some of the vendors are still here. Not entirely sure where people are heading, but it looks like they're going to start putting up some barriers. Some of the media, as we've seen, have kind of talked about maybe this Saturday rally will spark some more riots, some more protests. So far, what we've seen today as we've been down here, it's been very peaceful. There has been, some counter-protesters out here, but I think people are just very peaceful in our opening and dialogue. It hasn't been too tense. We talked to a couple of people who we have talked to a couple of people out here who were here last night and said that some of their things have been stolen, which is unfortunate. But we're out here and they're doing what they're doing, and so yeah, it's kind of seeing where people are at, kind of clearing up quickly. But
let's go check out those tents over there. It seems to be, and some of the people maybe on the other side too.
All right.
Okay.
We've seen a pretty heavy media presence here as well, gearing up for Saturday. The Trump campaign, or Kayleigh McEnany, tweeted out that there's been around 1 million tickets requested for this rally. The BOK Center is set to hold around 19,000 people total. So we'll see how many people are able to get in and participate in the rally. It's going to be pretty packed, as we've seen, if people are out here 2 days before the rally. There's been a lot of rallies where they've been out here at least a day before, but I know for me this is the first coming in Thursday with the rally that's there on Saturday. We got lots of water here. People were pretty stacked. People were saying they were handing out donuts, handing out pizza, keeping people entertained. Yeah, and there's just a good set of people. We'll probably be expecting more people tomorrow for sure. So why are we? Yes.
Nice.
Yes, I know.
I guess the Secret Service is wanting to move the line somewhere else.
Okay.
We moved to where they're going to put us in where you're going to come in, go through the metal detector. And so, because they're putting a perimeter fence around.
Now, are people going and actually lining up there now?
Basically, just everything that was here is just being moved.
Anything you can to get out
There.
of work.
Awesome.
The guy with the campaign is the one who's directing us to go over there.
Got it.
Where is it?
It's 4th and Denver, or 4th and Cheyenne, maybe.
How far is that from here?
It's, I don't know. It's up to where that police officer is, and then make a left, and it's right up that road. It's right the next block. No, it's the next block over.
So 1 block forward and then to the left?
Yep, that's it.
Right where that past that bus?
Where the police officers are, all the way over there. Not this one here, the next one.
Okay.
And they make a left.
Got it.
And it goes.
Hey, you guys local?
No, it's
We're in
Breitbart.
DC. We're in
You
Swamp.
want to hear some fun facts for you, but I can't be on camera.
Well, we're live right
We're
now.
live here.
Oh, nice. Actually, my son's watching this right now, I think. He was. He texted me. He goes, hey, Breitbart's there.
Yeah.
Oh, he may be still
You
watching it.
you guys got dinner.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to just head over there?
go over there,
Are you
yeah.
guys planning to stay there all night?
Most of the night.
Most of the night?
And some of our team will stay.
Okay.
So
Okay,
they told
so
us they were going to let us in Saturday morning, and it's a big old block party.
interesting.
And fortunately, because we've been here for 3 days, they said that they were going to
3
protect.
days?
Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah, 3rd day. We've been here since
Holy
Tuesday morning.
cow.
But because
It's
the
Monday.
campaign manager said because we were loyal, that they're going to make sure we're at the front of the line, and they kept their word, and that's exactly what they did.
Wow, that's great. So what propels you guys being here so early? Why are you guys so enthusiastic about Trump? What do you guys like about him?
I'm not. Yeah, I'll let you. I'm not.
I was just go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying with this first big rally back, but this is a huge deal. It's going to be a big deal. I've never gone to his rally yet, so I'm excited to go in. But
Are you afraid at all about the coronavirus? No.
it's a chance I'd take just to see him speak once in a lifetime, you know.
But I tell you what, I'm not real political, you know. But you got to think about it. Donald Trump, the presidency for most people is a step up. For Donald Trump, regardless if you love him, hate him, agree with him, or anything, you can't deny it was a step down. Air Force One doesn't compare to his private jet. The Mar-a-Lago, his places in New York, you know. And I really do believe that guy, whether you agree with him or don't agree with him, has sacrificially given. They froze all his business deals. He can't grow Trump. His business holdings and stuff. And so I personally wanted to see my whole family here, that if all he sees is a little snippet of these tents, it'd be a little bit of encouragement. And 5 days is a small price to pay for what he's done for America and the sacrifice that he's done.
Oh yeah, 10-4. See you up there.
All right.
All right, well, we're going to join the crowd. We're going to move right up there. We're going to talk to some more people. We'll probably catch up with you guys there along the way, but we're going to let you guys get set up so you guys have a spot. But thank you guys so much for
Coming to Tulsa. Glad you guys are here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
See you over there.
Enjoy Tulsa. It's
Are
a
you
great
still
place.
alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, let me say hi to my kids are watching. Jonathan, Courtney, Callie. Hi, guys.
These girls are still at it.
Fight for our God-given rights. Keep America one.
They felt quite proud.
1, 2, 3, 4. There will never be another USA. Freedom won't come back.
All right, guys, we're going to try and find out where the line is moved to. So let's go over this way.
Follow along here. Yeah, and I mean, as you've heard from the people before us, I mean, these people are following the Secret Service, but they're still planning on staying out for most of the night, if not all of the night. They're going to be there just kind of rotating and making sure that they have their spot to what they see as a very historic rally. It's the first rally back since the coronavirus outbreak, and yeah, as I've stated before, Kayleigh McEnany tweeted out that there was over 1 million tickets requested for this. The BOK Center holds 19,000 people at full capacity. So it'll be interesting to see the next couple of days, see how long I guess people are willing to stay out and make sure that they have a place to sit. We talked to them, and I mean, people have been here since Monday. This thing is on Saturday. So lots of dedication out here, lots of hardcore Trump supporters, that's for sure. It's a hot one out here in Tulsa, Oklahoma as well. So again, it's an incredible thing to see people being so dedicated. But we'll continue up here. We see quite a bit of a police presence.
And so if you guys are just tuning in right now, we're walking to where the Trump supporters have been moved because Secret Service is going to be coming in, doing their sweep at some point. They're setting up the barricades, so they're getting them organized. So people are literally lining up before they have a chance to put up the barricades. So,
yeah. So we're just kind of following the crowd here. While we were there, I mean, there was a good 6-7 big tents with about 5 people each in them, and it seemed to continue to grow. And now more and more people are driving up, getting out of their cars, setting up their tents yet again. For some, a third night in a row that they're out here getting excited for the Saturday rally. If you like what you're seeing, if this is just very interesting and you want to share it with people, make sure that you like and share this live stream. Get the word out. And we very much appreciate your support and your love. And we love you, know that. A lot of Breitbart supporters out here today, so that's a lot of fun to see. But as we can see, I mean, here's the new line. People that have moved, I mean, down around the block have now started camping out here, and people are pretty content. They're following the rules. Not too much issue. Pizza was just delivered.
So we had pepperoni and bacon pizzas.
Pepperoni and bacon.
Go ahead and grab them.
This is like the Papa John's store here in Tulsa. Have now just come out, and they're handing out pizza to the supporters for the Trump rally. So maybe we can, after they're done handing out pizza, maybe we can grab and talk to them about why they're handing out the pizza out here today. But in the meantime,
I wonder if they just ordered it.
Yeah, well,
They ordered for us, but
Oh, someone ordered for you?
oh really?
they said that someone ordered pizza for us, and they brought us a whole bunch of pizza. And I'm going to decline the Trojan pizza.
Probably smart thinking, sir.
Got you.
If I had an actual person from Tulsa bringing me something, I would take it. But something like this, I'm not that hungry for a piece of pizza.
You heard it here from the wall. Thank you, Blake.
I got to tell you, though, the people of Tulsa have been incredibly welcoming. When we were in line in front of the BOK Center, they brought us multiple boxes of donuts. They brought us cold drinks. They brought us pizza. They did bring pizza. They brought us banana bread. They brought us so much stuff, and just coming out of coolers full of ice. I mean, so there's a lot of goodwill in the city in terms of taking care of the people that they've seen waiting in line. But pizza from an unknown benefactor is something that I'm not hungry enough to eat right now.
I understand. All right.
And you know, it's too bad it's that way. Yeah. It's too bad it's that way. It's too bad that I'm suspicious enough that I would assign that. I kind of feel bad that I feel that way, but I've got Pop-Tarts in my hotel room. I'll have those later.
Pop-Tarts are good. Good stuff.
They come in a sealed package, you know? It's awesome.
True. I just love Pop-Tarts in general. All right, thank you.
All right.
You too. All right, guys.
So we're kind of scanning the crowd here where people have reassembled. And now if I remember, I don't know if this is exactly where the barricade is. I think they might have to move yet again on Saturday. But they're here. They're staying strong. They got moved, and that's not a bad thing. So we'll keep moving down. I'm okay, but is that okay if we talk to you about why you're here, ma'am? Awesome. So what is your name and where are you from?
My name's Andrea Henderson. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And why are you here today? Why 3 days before the rally?
Well, because I love President Trump. I want to be very supportive of him and hope he wins 2020.
Now, what are some issues that you have that you really support President Trump behind and that have seen him succeed in those areas?
I want to. I'm done. Yeah, because I don't want to.
The wall.
Rick, you get the pizza?
I just say the $30.
Ma'am, are you with these people? Because they're the ones that gave us the...
No, you guys are good.
And out over here. We'll come up. Yeah. Let's see if some of these people
because there's 3 different
up here will be willing to chat. So I mean, this whole line of street yet again is filled up. We saw it outside of the BOK Center. That whole block was taken up. But again, I'm okay. But would you be willing to talk to us? We're with Breitbart News.
I remember he was going to play.
No, that's okay. No, that's totally fine. Thank you, though.
Broke his leg. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you.
What are you guys doing out here?
Well, they moved us from they've moved us from the BOK because they're gonna tighten that up, tighten the security up there. So.
Right. And now, I mean, 3 days early.
Sure.
What are you guys doing out here 3 days early?
The minute that he said that Pence was coming, I knew that they were going to take over the street because it adds a whole new dimension of Secret Service and security. So it was going to be a big event. Then they were telling us from earlier this morning that they're going to relocate the line because they're going to have to, because the Secret Service is in.
That's from Breitbart.
That Hampton.
Very nice.
That's the Secret Service Hampton that took over the Secret Service took over the Hampton Inn.
Got it.
So
okay.
that's the base of operations. So
nice. So
I'm out here enjoying the fellowship.
Out here the fellowship. So
like mines.
Yeah. So how is this? Is this a community thing? Do you see a lot of local people? Are you guys
we're
here?
From all over the place. I'm from Boston.
Oklahoma City.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen Albuquerque, Florida, Michigan, Arkansas, California, San Diego, Los Angeles.
So why do you guys support Trump so much?
He's helped the country, but he's helped me, and he's helped people that I know.
He's real.
How has he helped people that you know?
Economy mainly.
Yeah, the economy.
People back to work, and people wages. People don't have to argue about their wages because the stuff's there, so they have to pay the people to get it to work. So,
are you worried about the economy now after the coronavirus shutdown?
Well, I'm following the Dow. I'm following the Dow. So people's investments, their IRAs and their retirements like that, those are back to the levels they were before this even started. Now it's just putting the businesses that have been asked to sacrifice and close, getting them back open and see how many people want to come back. Now there's stumbling blocks to that because they offered a lot of people a lot of money that's cheaper. It's better for them not to work and collect it. But that ends at the end of, most of that ends at the end of July.
Now, were you guys disappointed that President Trump has kept the country closed down, or have you guys been impressed with his coronavirus?
I was hesitant at the beginning. Why? But it was something that it's like, we don't know what's going on, and they've proved it through stages over the last 4 months that they have changed it. That this is bad, no, this is good, no, that's bad, this is good. They're giving us the raw numbers. People don't understand raw numbers. They've given a lot of numbers out of context. But I think their original thing is they said, we want to flatten the curve. We flattened it. Now they said, well, we want to get rid of the coronavirus. So we may never get rid of it. We may never get rid of it. But it's no different than anything else. My mantra that I've been telling people now is 2020, the year that nobody died from the flu. We eradicated the flu. So, and if you look at the numbers that they're giving you, you can almost back that up. So there's been a lot of rush to a bunch of different things, and they haven't congealed yet. It's going to take till they get the vaccine for that to congeal and people understand exactly what this was. But in Trump's defense, he built this up like he knew it was going to happen. That's my feeling. I don't think he could have known it was going to happen, but he built it up so that it would be there in case something happened. It could have been a world war, same thing. But he saw the need to put us in a position where we could handle an emergency.
Now, are you guys afraid at all of catching corona being out here with all these people at all?
I've been working since I've been an essential employee. I mean, I've been working since I haven't been out of work. So
what do you do, sir?
Well, I work for a construction, electrical contractor, but I'm in logistics, so I'm driving stuff around to different people. Now, I took the steps at that time. I cut off from my family because I didn't live with my kids. They're older, so I really couldn't I kept in contact with them, but I made it a point at that time to limit myself to any personal appearances with them. Then as things edged off, I watched the numbers. Now, being in Massachusetts, they scared me. But I kept numbers in Oklahoma because I'm always coming back here every 8 to 10 weeks to see my parents. They're getting there. They're 80. I can't see them while I'm down here. I just don't want to take that chance.
Right. And now with your parents, we've been seeing a lot of nursing home, just tragic stuff happening in nursing homes. Were you worried at all about?
I see the statistics. My parents live at home, and they live with a group of people that are my family. I'm the only family that's not there, but so they're well taken care of, and they are on like what you would call a compound. Now they're not survivalists or anything, but they bought property, and my nephew and his family live in a trailer house on their property, and my brother, who passed away a couple of years ago, his family lives there. So it was a place where they could commune together. A lot of them were homeschooled. My brother homeschooled a lot of his kids, and my nephew started homeschooling his kids. So they were in quarantine with their own family for the most part for a long time. I mean, people had jobs, the kids went out, they go to Walmart and this and that. But when I would come back and visit with my kids, we could sit out there for 10 days, and I would never leave the house, never leave the property.
So what's your response to mainstream media heads as well as medical heads that, are telling the people here that you guys this is gonna cause mass casualties, this is gonna kill grandma?
Well, it hasn't killed anybody in Minnesota, hasn't killed anybody from the disease in Minnesota, hasn't killed anybody in the disease from New York, hasn't killed anybody from the disease in Massachusetts, New Jersey, Florida, Texas, all those places. But that was allowed to happen. I don't agree with that happening, but I kind of, if you go for, they're all touting the New Zealand model or some European models. I said, we're just doing the same thing. It's herd. They finally, people, if you want to know the truth, all of the people out has actually contributed to being able to go into that herd immunity. I remember when I was a kid, I was taken to somebody's house to get chicken pox. Just so, I lived in a small town, 400 people.
No.
We had those parties.
Oh yeah, we had chicken pox parties, measles parties.
Oh my gosh! Whoa!
So we all got them at the same time.
So our class could get it done, and our whole class.
Let's go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And now another, leftist talking point that they're really pushing is this vote by mail. Are you guys going to be voting in person by mail? What do you guys think about?
I don't mind that they've always had voting by mail. They had absentee ballots, they had overseas ballots, they had military ballots. I don't mind following the procedures on those. If you're too afraid to go out, then there should be a venue where they maybe have drive-through voting. They have drive-through testing. They have drive-through this. They have drive-through McDonald's. There's fast food places that are never going to open up their menu. I mean their dining rooms again because it's counterproductive. They're making more money. They perfect a lot of things that they've implemented now. Would have been implemented 10 years ago, but they just were afraid to go full-hearted. Now they were forced to do it, and they're finding this is the greatest thing that ever happened. I have friends that own restaurants in Bradford, Massachusetts that say they're making money hand over fist, where they were never making money before. They were just surviving because they closed everybody down. And they said, restaurants, you can open if you do this. And a lot of restaurants said, well, we can't do that. The ones that did said, well, I can do this forever.
Very interesting. Can you tell us your name, sir, again?
Robert
Where are you
Harper.
from? Can you spell that for the camera real fast?
R-O-B ERTHARPER.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
I
for
appreciate
talking
your
to us.
time.
No, absolutely. Glad you guys are staying
I
safe.
enjoyed the questions. I enjoyed the conversation we had back and forth. I
Yeah,
appreciate
it's
it.
all about talking to people. It's all about getting the
thank
stories
you,
out.
thank
So
you.
I appreciate your guys'
All right.
time. I'm Allie J. It's nice
Allie
to meet
J?
you. Yes, your name.
How you doing?
Okay. Got it.
Thank you. We'll see you here in a couple days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be
We'll
around.
here all weekend.
I'm sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. Yes. Yeah, so people aren't too concerned about catching the corona, as I mentioned before when I was talking to them about how, there's a lot of media people. Oh, this is going to kill grandma. This is going to kill yada yada, and a lot of these people don't see that as an issue around here. So yeah, the line continues to grow. We got more people parking in this.
I don't, but he said he wanted to go get it tomorrow.
Tents. We got the chairs out here. There's tons of water. People are bringing food. It's a very block party feel. But we're going to continue here down the line and see if we can talk to more people who are joining us and are planning to stay here for the night. Very dedicated.
Howdy.
Now, would you guys be willing to talk to us at all? We're with Breitbart News.
Oh, I love that part.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, he's a speaker. He's back. He's got the
I've already done a few of those. I don't know if I want to do it anymore.
So you guys, it's 3 days pretty much before the rally. What are you guys doing out here 3 days before?
Having a good time is what we're doing. We're enjoying ourselves. That's what this is all about.
Spirits.
And I think that's what it's really all about, is that we're meeting family that we've never met before. Would you all agree with that? So it's a lot of fun. It's this is my first go at this.
It is. Okay.
My wife.
You guys are already dedicated to 3 days before. This is the first go. You guys knew 3 days before.
Here's we retired 2 or 3 weeks ago together. We were both school teachers, and we decided to sort of hang it up because 65, I had enough. And so what we did then is everybody would ask me, we like to travel a lot. He says, well, where are you going to travel to? And they're talking about all these exotic places, Australia, Japan, and China, and whatever. And they said, where are you wanting to go? I said, well, what we really want to do, I think the first thing we'll do is we're going to go to a Trump rally.
Where are you guys originally from?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
It's not that far. Yeah. And so what we decided to do was, with the group that we sort of work with, they were going to bus up on Saturday morning and do that kind of stuff. And I said, no way. And it says, I'm going to a Trump rally. I'm not going to bus in the day of the show. That's a field trip. You know what I'm saying? So we decided to go ahead and book some nights and come up. So we've got a hotel, of course, and we says I want to be on the streets. I want to sit there and meet my brothers and sisters, and how can you go wrong?
So what are some issues that you guys have found in Trump that you really support and are excited about, that you've seen this first term? And what are you guys excited about come second term if he would get reelected?
Well, the first thing is I remember the day he came down the escalator, which, we had sort of a celebration of that not long ago. And I was actually sitting in the teacher's lounge, and this was all going on, and this is about, I'd say maybe 60-40 liberal to whatever, and he's coming down the escalator, and he makes the announcement, and then they all start scoffing and stuff like that. And I stood up and says, wait a minute, guys, I tell you what. He says, that man is what our country needs, okay? And matter of fact, I'm going to vote for him. And they're over there, they're playing whatever the political line is at the time, trying to make him a clown or whatever. I said, what do you mean he's a clown? I said, and then during the campaign, Trump was playing the media like a 2-bit fiddle. You know, he was in the news every day, doing whatever it took to be in there. And then, of course, they're trying to make fun of him and stuff. And I says, you're talking about him, aren't you? Everybody's talking about him. This man is a salesman. He says, you know, he knows what he's doing, and you guys are too ignorant to see it, you know, and that's the way it was. So I followed him, and I had my doubts. I didn't know how he would fit into the political climate at the time. Playing, wow, that was exciting. You know, politics is a tough game. I know that, you know, my family were very involved in politics at the time. And I know how rough it can be. And I've heard stories and all. I was wondering whether or not he would be able to navigate those waters. And I tell you, he has far exceeded my expectations.
Where have you seen him exceed in those expectations?
He took control of the narrative in most times. He understood the game. He knew that he was going to be attacked. He knew that he would have to take so much of it. He accepted so much of the deep state in his program. He exposed them. He took them out. He showed everybody what and who they were. And then we're sitting there saying, wow, I didn't know that. He says, but he's right. Tell me, is there any one thing that he said and has done that he was wrong? He has played everything perfectly and to the point. Quite frankly, like I said the day he came down that escalator, it says, he is the man that we need for the job. We need a businessman to run this country like a corporation because, you know, after all, we are, the United States of America is a worldwide corporate business. That's what we needed. You know, I was hoping that we had Romney before, you know. I wanted to get behind Romney. I really did, you know. And because I thought that he would take a business approach to it, and that was my thing. But that didn't work out, okay? I don't know the man personally, don't know that much about him, but I am extremely disappointed in him and what he's been doing lately, and even more glad that he never came around. I mean, you know, even though I did vote for the man, I am so glad. Even though we got Obama. Okay, I don't want to open that up, okay, because we could go way too long on that. Let me see. What time is it? Okay.
8:42.
8:42. Is there a time they're going to throw us out of here or what?
I don't know. Yeah, that's we've been kind of monitoring, you know, being taken from in front of the BOK Center to here, you know.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
But everything's worked out so perfect for us. Now, you also asked me the question on what am I looking forward that Mr. Trump would do?
If he would get reelected, what are you looking forward in his second term to accomplish?
I can't wait for his second term. Okay, this election is not about Trump being elected. He's going to win by a landslide. What this election's period is about is regaining the House. Okay, that is what this is all about. You know, this way he's cleaned up the Republicans out of the Senate, out of the House. Most of these people are retiring and getting out of the business, which I think which is a good thing. Oh, I saw somebody the other day noted that one of Trump's main things, his platform for this season should be, this is not what he said, this is what his platform should first be, is one, term limits. We need to get rid of these, I'm trying to find a polite word to use, but I can't find one, okay?
Long-term politicians.
These long-term politicians do not work. We need to get rid of them, okay? Every time I talk to Senator Langford, I ask him, what's your take on, James, on term limits? You know, I want to see term limits. It says, I want to see you out of a job. I want you to know that you have just this many years to do what you think you need to do for this country. And then that's it.
So what is your take on, we're seeing a lot of never Trumpers coming out of the administration as well as a lot in Congress. What do you think about all those people that are coming out against Trump that are say they're Republicans?
Those are just swamp rats. They're so deeply embedded inside of the corruption of this country that they have too much to lose. That's the whole problem with that. I was thinking the other day, and Trump sort of alluded to that problem, the reason why we have so many swamp rats, technocrats, people who are too involved in it. You've got politicians who are so deep in it, 30, 40 years, and I would sure like to see their accounts, and I would sure like to see their tax returns of their family members to find out, where all this money's going. They're all bought off. They're all paid off. It's awful. It's terrible. Term limits, let's get rid of those bums in Congress, Oklahoma's native son, gosh, I just went mind blank. You know who I'm talking about. What's his name? I'm sorry. His statue's right over there in the hall of statues right in front of the Senate building.
So we talked about the congressional, swamp rats, as you call them, that are Republicans or say they're conservatives, but a lot of the constituents aren't feeling that they're delivering on those promises. Now, we saw earlier this week, Supreme Court appointed Justice Gorsuch side with the liberals on that LGBTQ transgender discriminatory case. What is your take on Gorsuch siding with the liberals?
I think what you need. Okay, I got it.
Sorry, guys, you have to wait for this truck to go by. It's overtaking the audio at the moment.
There we go.
Okay, so what was the question you were asking?
So we're talking about, as these kind people have put it, swamp rats, Republicans that are in Congress, in the House and the Senate, who say they're Republicans, say they're conservative, but other constituents here don't really feel like they're delivering on those conservative promises or delivering on Trump's promises and whatnot. Now, and we saw earlier this week now, Supreme Court appointed Neil Gorsuch, Justice. He sided with the liberals on this court case. What is your take on him siding with the liberals? What do you think
when
about
you
that?
say that he is basically sided with the liberal aspect of that, and was it LGBT, ABCD, whatever it is, and I think you need to look a little bit deeper in that. They have basically just broadcasted or broadband his opinion, and I think they sort of smoothed over it. I think you need to look deeper at what he was actually saying as far as the constitutionality of it, okay? Okay, what questions were they really posing on, and what was his decision based on? I personally have not read that and researched it myself, so I cannot give you a really constructive thought about it. But I think most people and your viewers should look deeper into it and find out exactly what it was that he was commenting about, rather than just glossing it over.
Yeah. So I guess the question that goes along with it, that kind of explains the case, is that the Supreme Court with this ruling says that if a man says he's a woman and he isn't treated as a woman, that is that's being discriminated against. I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, how absurd do you think that is when it comes to, judiciary?
I don't know the law. I'm not a lawyer. Okay, it's not my study. Okay, I know some things about the constitutional law, and things like that. But these guys are scholars, no doubt, and I respect that. However, my personal opinions, again, I'm not a scholar on this, is I think it's all crazy. I think that there's two genders. It's easy to figure out. I mean, like, I think a 2-year-old can figure out what gender they are. I don't want to be crass about it, but the essence is I don't understand that mentality. It's beyond me, okay? And I don't think I could ever understand it. I mean, if I could sit down with a few people with those natures and I would speak to them about it, and I have, and they've tried to explain those things through me, and I still just don't get it, you know? I just don't understand how that all came about. I mean, biology's biology. I mean, like, does this mean, and I should ask these people, and I don't want to be, most of the people I've talked to, or I had to be kind of diplomatic with, is it's kind of like, all right, if there are 79 or whatever, genders or whatever, does that mean that dog has 79 different genders? Okay? Because we're all just animals. What can you say? But, you know, I think it's ridiculous.
As teachers, though, there's been a lot of leftist push into pushing this gender ideology into schools. Did you guys experience that? Were you able to get out before that, or what is your concerns when it comes to that?
I don't want to make comments about that because I know too many people who are still involved, got the idea. I don't want to go there.
Awesome.
Okay. But I do have some very strong opinions.
I'm sure you do. You're a fantastic speaker, and so thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you guys.
Well, I enjoyed it, you know.
What's your name? Absolutely.
My name is Mark Kelleher, Kelleher. My father and all of my family are all Irish in nature, and we all have a little bit of Blarney involved with us.
And where are you based out of?
I'm out of Oklahoma City.
Got it. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Hey, enjoy your day.
Oh yeah, you too.
Hey, what's your take on this virus thing?
The virus.
You know?
It's
I did a couple.
All right, guys, tuning in. This is Breitbart News. We are here at the 2 days before the Trump rally, or you could say about 48 hours before the Trump rally. So we're just sort of paying the line here, giving you guys a view. The line has been moved about a half hour ago. So what you're seeing is people sort of resetting up the tents and everything here. So just going to give you guys a view. Here we go. We got this gentleman here is getting his tent back out. Yeah, it looks like we got a little barricade over here too. Looks like these guys are getting set back up. We're going to move to the front of the line a little bit here.
I know. Gotta click them. That one's quick. You click that one.
Nice encampment here. It's continuing to grow. I mean, we got more tents popping up. People are dedicated here to stay overnight. And so the sun is just setting here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's getting a lot cooler, so I'm sure that'll make things a little bit more comfortable for these people. But they're excited. They're pumped up. 3 days out, and yeah, we're having a good time. Should we continue chatting? Let's talk to some people here. If you're just joining us, I'm Allie J. Nikolai. Behind the camera is the wonderful Matt Purdy. We're here, Breitbart News, live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where on Saturday, President Trump will be hosting a return to his campaign rallies, which have been on quite a hiatus due to the coronavirus for about 3 to 4 months. We're out here in Tulsa, and people here have been lined up for 3 days or more already, and so we're here talking to them about what makes them so enthusiastic about President Trump and this rally specifically. So thanks for tuning in.
Oh, that was Tim Kaine. Yeah, Tim Kaine said it right.
We got pets out here.
Down in just a second. Yeah. I got to be proactively. You were the day we out here before that. So yeah, we don't have to worry about it. I saw you on TV.
I'm good. How are you guys? Excellent. Do you guys mind talking to Breitbart News a little bit tonight? Let me see. Breitbart News?
Sure.
Sure? So we flew in from DC.
DC?
But,
all right, absolutely. Let's go.
Absolutely. So
who founded Breitbart?
Andrew Breitbart.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Verify.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
No, we're real, I promise. Oh, yeah. So you guys
You
are
know,
out
Reagan
here.
said trust but verify.
Very true. Yes. God bless Reagan. 3 days before the rally. Why are you guys out here so early? What makes you so enthusiastic and pumped up?
People doing the Trump thing, you know, just doing what we do, being friends, enjoying time with camaraderie with their friends, and witnessing, just letting our light shine, trying to love people, trying to set a good example, you know, and generally just wanting to be first in line.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
We're thankful to be able to share our. We're thankful to be able to say thank you to the president, you know, and we want. He's putting his line on the line. He's putting his life on the line every day for us, you know, and it's wow. It's pretty amazing. The scripture says, "Greater love has no man that he lay down his life for his friend." Right. And that's what we're seeing. This epitomizes with him. You know, he's willing to put himself in harm's way to get the country to its destiny. That's worth the time of visiting him and saying thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could talk to Trump and thank Trump, what are some issues that you would like to thank him for that you see that he's made progress on?
I would thank President Trump for taking the economy like a bull by the horns, getting the lowest unemployment in the black community in American history, lowest unemployment in Latino community, Asian community in history, and navigating us through this virus thing. And perfect slogan for America, making America great again. Ahead of the game. He's always ahead of the curve, being Mr. Visionary. I mean, way ahead of the curve. Shuts down the country, you know, from China. He's just, wow. He needs Mount Rushmore. So I just like to say thank him for being a visionary.
So were you guys at all, or are you guys at all disappointed for the long amount of time that Trump has allowed the lockdown to stay? Or are you guys impressed with how he's handled the coronavirus so far?
Anybody else want to? What's the question?
Have you been impressed with how President Trump has handled the coronavirus, or are you waiting for things to still open up a bit?
He mentioned it in his State of the Union address between the opates and another crisis, but Nancy Pelosi chose to tear the speech up, so obviously she didn't care. Because I do recall him mentioning it.
It should never been shut down. It should never been shut down.
Yeah.
Only one reason why it was shut down, we all know that.
Yeah.
To tank the economy, so it runs President Trump's chances of winning the re-election.
Are you worried about like an economic revival? Are you optimistic about the economy?
It's starting to come back now.
100% optimistic.
It's going to be better than it ever was. Better than it ever was.
He's making America great again, and we are coming back stronger and better than ever, for sure.
That's what I mean about visionary. It's like the perfect slogan. He didn't know that we were going to get hit with the virus, but that was like the perfect, that's what I mean, he's a visionary. It's like the perfect make America great again. It's the epitome of it. And it's going to happen. So
So what are your guys' responses to the media, the medical heads who have come out and they're saying, all these people that are going to be at this Trump rally are going to kill grandma, they're going to kill more people, the coronavirus?
It's kind of funny how they said that the numbers in this state was going down right up until the point when they announced this. So as soon as we decided to have a rally in this city, well, all of a sudden the numbers spiked.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard to believe.
Yeah.
It's just being spiked up and ginned up to hurt Donald Trump's chances of being reelected.
But it was okay. I mean, the protesters, it was okay for them to protest. They wasn't worried about that. So maybe we should call this a protest, and then the coronavirus won't hit us.
Definitely a way to put it. Now, another leftist agenda that's being pushed out there is vote by mail. They don't want people going and voting in person. Are you guys planning to vote in person? And what
in person, thank you very much. 100%.
And what do you think about this vote by mail push? What do you think that's going to bring?
Still the election. Support is still the election. It's a point blank ploy. I mean, they really. Wow.
Anytime somebody has the ability to falsify a vote, it's not really something that people should be fighting for, It's like we should be fighting for something that ensures the verity of the vote.
So I want to get your guys' opinion on Joe Biden as the Democrat presidential.
That's the best joke I've heard all day.
What was the question?
It's the Breitbart people back.
Yeah.
Does he know
what do you guys?
Does he know he's running for president? I really shouldn't make fun of him because I really believe he had dementia.
I mean, he's not a person that should be in charge of the nuclear codes, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. So the only question is, who's he a placeholder for?
We're gonna have to do.
Okay, that's the real question. I mean, that's the thinking question. Who's he holding the place for? It's kind of like Bernie Sanders holding the place for Hillary. Ultimately, he caves in and says, "Oh, by the way, you just stole votes from me. Here you go." So obviously, we're like, we know the drum roll and we know the placeholder's coming. We might not know who that is. I mean, it could even be Hillary, but we know he's a placeholder. He knows he's a placeholder. Okay, and so. Yeah, man,
So you're planning to vote for Trump in November?
100%.
And so what would your response be to Joe Biden on the Breakfast Club saying that you're not black if you don't vote for him?
So that's an excellent question. Okay, here's what I have to say to him. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever would believe in him would not perish but have everlasting life. That's what he needs to get a clue about. Okay? And so, how do you say this? Okay, so he is what's the word? He is encouraging a slave mentality. That's what he's doing. And he's using the political office to encourage racism. Okay? He's stereotyping people. Okay? And I remember him making the comment, they're going to put y'all back in chains. And yet he's the one who sponsored the crime bill. That's hilarious. He's a joke. That's my opinion of his comments. He's a joker. Okay? And so it's a good thing that we have superheroes in the land of jokers. And that's pretty bad, pretty bad. He need to be brought to justice with regard to the Ukraine. I look forward to him being brought to justice for him and his son, and he's obviously China's, how do you say it, protege? So it's kind of sad, but the wonderful thing about the late Dr. Martin Luther King, he had a saying. He says, "Truth crushed to the ground will rise again." So it's all going to come out. It's all going to come out. So we just need to continue, those of us who know the words of prayer, we just need to continue to pray that truth will prevail, okay, that justice will reign supreme. And the Bible says a man reaps what he sows, so That's about all I have to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, something that we're kind of seeing across the country there's been mass movements of people vandalizing statues, vandalizing monuments, tearing them down. What do you think of all of that happening in America, and what's your message to those people that see those as oppression?
Oppression? Symbols of oppression? Okay. So here's the thing. I noticed that the symbol of oppression in the institution of slavery was started by the Democratic Party. Now, those are irrefutable histories, just irrefutable. So I just think it's very interesting that the statues, these were Democrats, and they want to remove all remembrance of what the Democratic Party has actually done historically. Now, I think that's very hilarious to me. And so there's something to be said about, I think there's some Orwellian thing where you take the truth and you change it. And if people can't figure out where they came from, they're liable not to remember or know where they're going. Okay? So again, it's another scam, you know, and it really irks me. Did you actually consider defacing our history? We should keep our history there as a cautionary tale, okay, and of how far we've come. So that's my opinion of it.
Do you think Republicans should be doing more to protect those statues and those monuments? Do you think they're doing enough, and that there's been enough voices from the conservatives on protecting those? Or do you think more should be done?
Well, I believe that President Trump has taken action. And if there's more action to be done, I believe it should be, because I'm not too convinced that someone wants to really change their future if they're trying to hide their past. It just doesn't work out very well for the alcoholic. You know what I mean? So I would say, you know, deal with there's a sign in the window that's, no, there was some signs in the windows that alluded to the fact, change me instead of trying to change someone else, you know. And so that has really worked for me. You know, I asked Jesus Christ in my life, save me from all my sins, you know, and so change begins with me. The people who don't want to change, they want everyone else to change. I thought that's very interesting. Okay, that means they're really not really interested in changing. And the also thing is, like, they want the rules, restrictions for every other person, but they don't want themselves to be subject to those same rules. So that's like what Jesus would call hypocrites, you know.
So there's a deep divide in our country, obviously, with the tragic events of George Floyd's death, and so what would you like to see Trump do to unite our country again?
Okay, first of all, he's the perfect person to unite the country. He just is. Okay, no one called him a racist when he was with when he was with Jesse Jackson, when he was with Don King. It's only when he ran against the racist Democrats that they called him a racist. They are the perfect party. If you ever want to know what Democrats are up to, just listen to what they accuse others of doing. Okay? Here's Hillary talking about Russia, but she's giving our uranium to Russia. That's just hilarious to me. Okay? And I don't know if you've had the opportunity to watch the movie Hillary's America. Okay? But it's a Saul Alinsky tactic, rules for radical. You just never give up lying. And that's perfect. They are really good at that, the Democratic Party. Even when they're busted dead to their rights, they never give up lying. Okay? And so, unfortunately, in the Bible it says the lake of all liars will be in the lake of fire. So if you never give up lying, where are they heading? Okay? So there will be a judgment, and then, wow, they have to deal with the truth then. But it'll be too late, so.
What's something that you think Trump can improve on? And if Trump would be reelected for a second term, what are some issues and other things that you're excited to see him possibly tackle?
Okay.
Is it a red ticket?
Yeah. Okay, this is going to sound kind of crazy. Okay, but I'm just going to tell you something. There's a terminology called vote of confidence. Okay? See, I have like 100% vote of confidence with Trump. okay? But not just me, 62 million Americans as well, okay? It's just like, it's kind of like if you're on an airplane and you have an autopilot and you have two pilots up there, you don't go in there and say, are you really doing it in our interest? It goes without saying, okay? We trust him, you know? So, yeah, I don't have nothing to say what he can improve on, because I know he'll be the first to find it. He'll be the first to find it, and we'll be the first to pray. Okay, so that's my answer to that.
And then if he would be reelected for a second term, what's something you're excited about that he would possibly tackle during that?
You really want to know? I don't want to telegraph that. I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with the economy. It has something to do with the $1 trillion deficit. I'll just leave it there. Okay?
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for talking to us and sharing your story and all of that.
Can you get your first and your last name?
It's a Daryl Henry.
Can you spell that for us?
It's a Darryl Henry, Henry.
Where are you based out of?
Well, I'm right here. I've been here 8 years. Born in California, but I've been here in Tulsa. Best police force on the planet. I mean that. No, I really mean that. Yeah, I mean, they're actually. I do need to say something about police.
Yeah,
you mind?
go ahead.
All this stuff about defunding the police, that's a death wish. I don't care what kind of words they address it, what kind of words they pretty it up with defunding the police. That is a bona fide death wish to defund the police. Okay? Yes, there are cops that could care less about moral things, but it's such a small percentage, okay? I just think they're everyday heroes in every sense of the word, and to defund the police, that's insanity. That is insanity, okay? I mean, I just love the police, you know, and I have the greatest president on the planet for law and order. So basically all I have to say. God bless you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Awesome. Yeah, so we see a lot of police presence out here. They're just setting up here as the Secret Service begins to do their sweep around the BOK Center, which is just right over that hill, where President Donald Trump will be having his first rally after the 3 to 4 month hiatus during the coronavirus outbreak. People are very excited, so excited in fact that some of them have been here since Monday lining up, as we've heard from some of these people, but even 3 days out starting tonight, they're still here. They're very enthusiastic, and so we got families out here, there's dogs out here, and people are having a good time. So maybe we'll walk up and down the line a couple of times, see as it continues to grow. But I think it's very interesting to see big DJ T, Donald J. Trump up in the windows. Is it okay? I am. Is it okay? Awesome. Can I ask you guys a couple of questions about your support here? So why are you guys here 3 days early before the Trump rally?
We just really want to be able to have the chance to see our president and, you know, show our support because we're all young, and showing that it's not just the older generation that supports presidency and our country.
And what are some issues that you support Trump and behind?
I'm very pro-life, and I know he's pro-life. I'm all for, you know, helping unemployment and solving that, and helping the immigration issue and finding more helpful and quicker ways that are a lot less intense than how they are now.
No, I think we're probably around the same age, and I don't know about you, but I know when it comes to my social media, I get a lot of backlash for supporting, you know, conservative causes. Have you seen? Have you had experiences with friends? Have you seen just mass, you know, kind of hate?
Yeah,
when it comes to that.
I've gotten a lot from my girlfriends saying that since I'm a woman, I shouldn't support a racist president, and I've gotten a lot about saying, oh, since I'm Mexican. I'm a disgrace to my people, and I've gotten some about, oh, well, God wouldn't be for a president that's racist and cruel when he's not, but that's kind of what I get on a daily, especially that I'm posting that I'm here every single day, and I've gotten a lot of people saying some really hateful things, but
so what do you think about, because we're seeing more and more platforms, there's conservatives that are being banned, from Twitter, from Facebook, from Instagram. What do you have to say to those people who are banning conservative voices?
You can ban us from social media, but you can't ban us from speaking out publicly. Social media is just one platform when, there's thousands of other ways you can put your points out there and share your beliefs in a positive manner.
Are you worried about possibly being banned in the future if the banning continues on and more?
They can ban me and try to stop me, but I'm so strong-willed in my beliefs that it's just going to be a little speed bump that I'm just going to race over and overcome.
Now, are you seeing in the younger conservative, or just the younger group as a whole, are you seeing more people come out as conservative, or what do you see the trend is?
I think the trend is to go more on a liberal side, because you don't want to be that person in the friend group that doesn't support feminism, and you don't want to be called the friend that hates women and hates the black people and gay people, and that's not true. Two of my best friends are black and gay, and they know I don't hate them. They know I love them more than some other people, and I think it's just easier to go with the left, because if you go for the right, it's not popular to say that you're with the right.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us and giving your perspective. It's exciting to hear from people around our age and why they're out here and supporting conservative causes. So thank you guys so much. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Maddie.
Okay, so continues to grow. More tents are popping up. This whole area is actually starting to be blockaded, so I'm assuming that probably more and more people are going to be joining, as this is more of a designated spot for hanging out before the rally. But wow, it seems definitely growing more and more. I mean, it continues now all the way down the street. We're about more than a little bit quarter way. Yeah. Could I ask you guys a couple of questions? Could you talk to us if you want?
I can't be on anything.
Okay.
But they can. They can. Breitbart's great. We love Breitbart.
Breitbart? Yeah.
Breitbart News. Oh, it's conservative.
And I'm a conservative, and I'm sure my husband's heard. Friend, this is Breitbart.
Breitbart News?
Yes, Breitbart News.
Nice to meet you. They act like these big-time conservative people. Brian, you don't know who they are?
Good. Yeah. Good. What are you guys doing out here 3 days before the rally?
Trump! We're here for Trump, yes.
5 days before.
5 days.
Yeah.
And then why do you guys support Trump so much? What are some issues that you stand behind?
You really need to hear this?
Promises made, promises kept.
Everything he says.
I like that. Promises made, promises kept.
Now, to you guys, what's the number one promise of this
Drain the swamp.
The wall.
Yeah, there we go.
The wall is one.
The wall.
Taking taxes down. Bringing taxes down for the American people.
Regulations.
Raising taxes for the corporations overseas. Lowering the taxes for them coming back.
The economy.
Standing up for America.
What hasn't he done? Bringing manufacturing.
I mean, just across. I mean, China.
Having a set of balls.
Exactly. Standing up to the drug companies.
Correct.
Yep.
So, you guys mentioned the wall. Do you guys still think that the wall is a big issue of support?
Big deal.
Border Patrol, right? So I'm right at the edge. All I have is one interview left for Border Patrol, and that's all I'm waiting on. So, hurry up, please, Trump. Okay, so all I need to do is get that over with, just an interview. All right, it's my security interview. Okay, so Border Patrol, The wall, why would you not want a wall? Every country overseas in Europe, and I've been there, every country over there has a wall.
Even Chaz has a wall.
Can you not have a wall here between one country and another, especially when they're exposing drugs and illegal sex slaves and things of that nature? Do we really want that? Nobody wants that. Why would you want that for your children?
We want jobs
for your grandchildren, for people coming over here. You want safety, security. Well, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Build a wall. Good Lord. Is it that hard? No, it's not. Not at all. I can build it myself.
I'll put that out right.
I built a wall in my front yard. By God, it's 8 foot wide, 8 foot tall, and about 200 feet long, and it's going down the other side. So I'm building it myself. So I don't see why anybody else would want to do that. You keep all the riffraff, and you keep the criminality out. You keep the drugs out. That's what we want for our nation. He wants to secure us just like he would his own babies and his own children.
Yeah.
So.
If Trump on Saturday would say that he wants more immigrants, would you guys boo him?
They come legally, absolutely. Legally is fine,
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, and people say
experience the American dream.
well, and there's a lot of people they say, well, they're going to do the jobs none Americans want to do. That's not true. Americans want to do jobs. They want to have these jobs available to them, and they will do them. You come legally to America, you are welcome. My grandparents came legally to America.
Amen.
Everybody came legally that I know. So I have no problem with that. I have no problem with immigrants coming here at all.
Whether it's Staten Island or Boston or any other port, everybody came in legally. My ancestors came over in 1600s. Before it was even a nation. So
mine did too.
I mean, you got to think about how are you going to secure a nation if you don't have the right immigration and naturalization process? Who do we know that's coming in the back door? We don't know. Oh my God, is that why we're wearing masks? Probably so. So let's do it right.
Which brings up another standing up to China.
Hello.
China is running our country into the ground.
Absolutely.
And if you don't stand up to the Chinese, and the Chinese, all these other politicians are in their pockets. And it's about time, instead of destroying us from the inside out, he stood up and said, and is standing up and said no more. They were a way bigger threat to us than Russia or any other nation. Everybody knows whoever has the most money wins, hands down. And that is, he called it before anybody else called it.
With the coronavirus, are you guys a little disappointed that the lockdowns are still going on, that President Trump should lift them himself, or are you guys very impressed with how he's handled the situation so far?
I'm very impressed with it. He put the people out in front that needed to be shown so everybody could do their own research and see who these crooks are that make deals with China, with the Wuhan lab, with Bill Gates, with Dr. Fauci, and Dr. Briggs and George Soros, and we can see the truth for ourselves. Because if he told us or told everybody, nobody'd listen. People are waking up when they're going online, doing their own research and seeing the ties that Bill Gates paid Dr. Fauci. I know somebody in my neighborhood who went to India, had a client. Sorry?
Am I able to film you?
Oh, I really don't.
Okay, I'll just get your audio then.
He went to India with a doctor who had invented a drug or something that cured all these diseases. Dr. Fauci put it on the back burner. This is 2 degrees of separation that I know these people. Because he couldn't make money off of it, and big pharma could not make money off of it, and that is who controls the politicians, who controls everybody. And Trump is standing up to them, and we need somebody with a voice, because enough of us getting ripped off, working our asses off, day in and day out, so they can go around, fly in their private jets and make laws for us. Screw them. They've had 30, 40, 50, 60 years. You know what? You're out of there. You're out of there. You're a bunch of crooks and you're a bunch of liars. And you're leading all these people leading us off the pier, jumping off the pier.
Yeah, we're on the
Trump
precipice.
threw us a life raft. Amen. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to divide
What's
the
wrong with that? And now they're trying to divide the country because it's the only thing that they can do to get their votes is to cause a race war, because these people don't know how to do their own freaking research and find out and think for themselves, because they've indoctrinated everybody through education, saying like, oh, it's bad. Like, these people are the nicest people. We never even knew these people the day before yesterday. We're all like friends and taking care of one another, and we're not here to fight and destroy things. Like, what the hell is that? If they want to destroy things, that's their problem. But don't come mess up our stuff. Let them do their own. Everybody has free speech. But when you start wrecking things, I'm sorry. That's off the charts.
So how would you guys respond to the mainstream media talking heads, the head medical people that are on the mainstream media things that are saying a Trump rally is gonna kill more people, and there's the double standard
from all the people protesting and breaking windows. How many has that killed? They did it for 2 days, almost 3. That rose the death rate just here in Tulsa by 300%, just because they did their thing. And why did they do it? To destroy stuff.
Yeah. To intimidate.
They didn't go with a mask to protect those people they broke the windows on. So now those people are probably going to get contaminated if they were sick. We're coming fully aware, fully accepting. I don't think I'm at risk. I'm going to come because I support a man who's done everything in the world he said he was going to do.
Yep.
Everything. Even before he ever announced to be president. Every time he said, I'm going to do something, a judge would oppose him. He'd find a way around that judge, and he still got done every single thing he said he was going to do.
But he did it the right way. He did it the right way, and that's the main thing. He didn't do it just behind somebody's back. He did it the right way.
Whatever words they used, he used their words against them and said, okay, if that's why I can't do it, I'm going to do it because of this, and I'm going to do it this way.
Yep.
He still did what he said was right.
He's gotten more done and been attacked.
3 years. And you got people there for 50, 60 years, ain't got nothing done.
If they didn't,
except they got rich.
Yes,
they got rich, but they didn't get nothing
and more
solved.
control over us.
How do you have politicians that make $100,000 a year that are now worth $30 million serving in an office?
Yes.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
And going back to COVID, because he can't film you.
No, I want a billionaire that became a public servant. I don't want any more fucking public servants that are becoming billionaires.
We love Trump.
Right.
But what about Gates owns patents to the
I just don't want to get your audio.
virus?
We're live, so.
There's a patent on the virus and Gates owns it. Fauci's one step away from that. Why is a tech giant out there talking about vaccines? Why is that? He's not a doctor. He's not a virologist. He's never near a medical school, and he's become the authority on vaccines.
Complete IT
so if you
school.
go,
I got 2.
Right.
2 IT degrees.
Right.
He got 1. He got not even 1.
Right.
He
But
couldn't even complete it.
why is he out there doing this? Because he wants to make money off of it, and they all do. That's a lot of money. You're talking about billions of dollars wanting to vaccinate the whole world.
Hey, and he owns a patent. He owns a patent on a lot of vaccines,
Yes,
and
a lot of them.
he also starts testing his vaccines in South Africa.
Yep.
So
And
India,
killed a bunch.
he's not allowed in India because he killed a bunch of young girls there, and they have a lawsuit against him.
Right, straight up, just go get out. That may be open at all.
Right now, so there's the big push for the shot, the vaccine, and people are saying, oh, we have to keep everything locked down until we get the vaccine. What's your response to that?
Control the economy. If they can control the economy, the number one thing that Trump has done is he raised our economy. He brought it to the point that we haven't seen in decades. So what did they do to stop him? They shut down the U.S. so they could take his economy off because no one can beat him on the economy. I don't care if you're independent or Democrat or Republican running against him. You can't beat him on his economy. So that was their best thing to do. So what do they want to do? They said another wave's coming. So what you do is you watch on the other side of the world in Australia, because that is their winter hitting. They keep saying in the winter there's going to be another wave of COVID. Well, in fact, there's not. And that's what they do every year is we watch what's happening in the southern hemisphere because we're vice versa. There's not another wave. It's not happening. These are fear tactics.
Plus, more people die in a car wreck every day than die of COVID, and we get in our car every single day.
Did a walkabout.
Knowing the risk, and you still get in your car and drive. How many people to die? How many people today died in a car wreck? Are you going to get in your car tonight?
Are you guys worried at all about the economy? Or are you guys very optimistic about it coming back?
No, I think if they open the freaking
Starting
economy
Saturday,
up, we'll be
the
fine.
economy is going to go through the roof.
Open it up.
Because this rally is going to show people where those who put him in that office, we're not standing back no more. We're going to put him there again. And if you give us a chance, we're going to put another Donald Trump right back in there behind him because they're going to put this country back where it belongs.
Well, when they reported the May numbers, we had the largest increase in the history of the country. Now, albeit we were closed before then, so we knew there'd be a big gain when they opened. However, they were so surprised at the gain that we saw in the country. It was huge. It was huge. You know, so it's going to keep coming. It'll keep coming because people want to spend their money. Not everybody was taken out from that. There's a lot of people that have their money to spend.
What are your guys' response to Democrat leaders that are pushing vote by mail? You know, we want to keep everyone safe. Are you guys going to vote in person?
I've already voted in person. I've voted in the primaries. There's tape of Nadler talking about this I believe it's in the 1980s, where he said there is huge fraud when it comes to that because of voter harvesting. And so it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's a way for them to go and collect. I have a picture of a gentleman that got 4 ballots sent to his house from every person that had ever lived there before him. Right. He has them all lined up. 4 different ballots, and he can send them in. So it's just fraught with fraud. That's it.
I mean, I've had to send 3 back from family members that have been dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, they lived here, but I'm sorry.
Well, and Tom Benton,
look how silly that
is doing huge work with Judicial Watch and the lawsuits that he's filed. And I mean, in LA County, LA County, there was over 1 million people that were double registered, or they'd moved away out of state, or they had passed away. Yes, 112, where there just wasn't that. And they have a fiducial responsibility, but also a judicial responsibility of when they have their state constitution, so to speak, that they have to keep those records up to date. And so Tom Fenton has gone in. I mean, and he went into Virginia, he went into California, and I might be forgetting. I know there's other states.
But see, just because they have a residence in every one of those states, they get to fly to each one of those residents and vote. Why? One vote across the nation, period, for federal. Now, you want to vote for the little county thing because you own a residence there? Now, there you go. You got it right there, bud.
Well, and I heard that because George Soros owned the voting machines, the electronic voting machines, and now that that's been fixed, they don't want us going in person and doing that. And even when you go in person, I just took my mom, and she's 83 years old. She's compromised, right? She wore a mask. We went in and voted. And they still have them far apart because you need privacy. That's one of our things that we do in the Constitution is you don't want to be intimidated when you go to vote. And they all look like that, and it was fine. But New Mexico, where I'm from, they don't require an ID, and it's just crazy.
Doesn't it make sense to one vote per social security number?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You got, everybody gets issued a social security number after birth. I've done it for my 2 children here just the last year or 2. So they get a social security number. Okay, you have a right to vote in 17 years. Yeah. So there you go. Good luck.
Have to have an ID to buy alcohol. You have to have an ID to register for school. You have to have an ID to get on a plane. You have to have an ID to drive a car.
To go to the military.
Yes, you have to have an ID to get a book at the library.
But not to vote.
But not to vote for the most powerful office in the world.
The most powerful office in the world. Listen to that. Listen to that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Democrats want no walls so they can get all these people to vote.
It stinks. This was trash? Yes, it's Paul stuff. It stinks. And then the next one had that tornado. So it's my restaurant.
Trump.
We love Trump. We love Trump.
You love Trump?
I do. We do.
You love Trump? Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me multiple questions.
I can ask multiple questions? Sir. All right.
Guys, so here we are still outside of the venue where the Trump rally is going to be held.
Listening to the news, they say that...
I'm going to move out here a little bit. Just give you guys a scope of the line. It is growing slowly but surely. Right down here, you'll see. So we are outside of Trump venue. It's a couple days before Trump's event. People are already lined up. Having a great time just chatting it out here.
Hi, Mom.
I'm going to go take a visit to the back of the line, see how much it's grown in the past 30, 40 minutes or so.
No, it's not yet. I started having a lunch
And then my son found no, I didn't
Yeah, so that's where they're getting the pizza. I see a Domino's over there. Yeah, there it is. Looks like it's gone a little bit longer by a couple tenths.
That's the whole thing. We'll check out G20.
All right, so we're gonna
Well, and also before they even
give
started,
you a quick look at the line.
people that everyone's like,
Hey, Allie.
Hey. Hey!
So,
Wow.
sorry about that, guys. So there was one woman there who said she didn't want to.
I had no idea it was live.
So, guys, I just want to let you know that there was a woman there who did not want to be filmed. So I was just trying to make sure we didn't capture her as much.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
So now, Allie, how are things looking out here?
I mean, it's looking pretty good. We got barricades now kind of being set up on both ends of the street, which pretty much tell us that this is going to be a set place for people to hang out, to line up for the rally that is on Saturday. A lot of enthusiastic people, a lot of people that don't know each other and are becoming friends through all of this. So there's a big sense of community here, and it's kind of crazy. You know, there's a lot of people here already from Oklahoma, but I mean, we've heard from people from Boston, from Minnesota, from California. I mean, all over the place, people are traveling and are very enthusiastic and excited about the rally that's coming up on Saturday. And yeah, I mean, Saturday, that's 3 days away, which is crazy. We've talked to some people who have been here since Monday lined up, and so they're very excited. Kayleigh McEnany tweeted out that, you know, there's been around 1 million tickets requested for this rally. The BOK Center, which is right over there, will be able to hold 19,000 people when it's filled to max capacity. So I think hearing those numbers, a lot of people are really wanting to be able to be in the room where Trump is, and that's why we're seeing people camped out 3 days before the rally. If you like what you're seeing, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure to hit the like button, the love button, and share this out. Get the word out of these people's stories, words out. And thank you so much for supporting Breitbart and just being there and watching us and spreading the news. We very much appreciate it. I'm Allie J. Nikolai. This is Matthew Purdy right behind the camera. We're still live here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where people are lining up for the Trump rally on Saturday. Today is Thursday night, so we're about 48 hours away from that rally, and lots of enthusiastic people, and they're here to stay. They're here to camp out for however long they're going to be able to, until they're able to see the president for his first rally, returning after the 3 to 4 month hiatus due to the coronavirus outbreak. A lot of people here we've talked to have to say that they aren't very concerned about catching the coronavirus, or say that it's a risk that they are willing to take to see the president in person. So there's not a lot of people that are too paranoid about that, yeah, they're just here to have a good time. So.
All right, so I'd say let's do 1 or 2 more interviews for now.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll wrap it up.
Cool.
So I think there's a couple people over here maybe we can talk to if they're up for it.
Yep. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, we're with Breitbart News. Is it okay if we ask you guys a couple of questions?
Yes.
About it? So, you guys are out here 3 days before the rally. What brings you out here so early with such enthusiasm for President Trump?
We're just out here trying to show our support. I think it's good that a group of like-minded individuals who can think for themselves and show patriotism and respect at the same time, you can't beat it.
How about you, sir?
So for me, it's a huge deal because we're finally coming to the end of this fake coronavirus economic shutdown, social distancing, mask wearing. Like, this event to me is like spearheading the beginning of the reopening and rebuilding, unfortunately, the economy. So it's a very important event, and I think that's why it's going to be the biggest rally that Trump's ever held.
How have you guys, or what do you guys think of how President Trump has handled the coronavirus? Are you guys a little disappointed that he hasn't lifted the remaining lockdowns, or are you guys still pretty, content and happy with what he's done so far?
I'm always happy with Trump does. I'm not going to question it. No way.
How about you, sir?
Yeah, it's hard to criticize the president with everything that he's got coming at him from all directions, but so I don't want to say I'm not happy, but I think that he should have never shut the economy down. He should have never issued any guidelines, saying that businesses should be closed or anything, which he didn't. He was honestly pretty generous, but I think he gave the states too much free will. Maybe he didn't anticipate what they would do, but I just wish that the economy was never artificially shut down like it was.
Are you worried about the economy? Are you worried that we won't see much of a revival? Or are you kind of optimistic about the future about that?
I'm optimistic, but I'm definitely worried. I'm very worried, definitely, because it should have never. This is a hurdle that we should have never had to overcome in the first place. So, but there's such spirit in the country and such great people. I mean, you guys have been talking to the people that are all lined up here, so I'm very, very optimistic, but I wish it never happened.
So the mainstream media, there's a lot of talking heads, there's a lot of, high-up medical professionals that have been saying the past couple of days that, oh my gosh, Trump hosting this rally, it's going to cause a lot of deaths, people are going to get sick, there's going to be a whole new coronavirus wave. What is your response to those criticisms of the rally?
There will not be a second wave.
Oh, but the rallies aren't going to cause a second wave, huh? All that, because there's so much social distancing going on there.
Yeah, if people can protest, Trump definitely has a right to hold a rally. That's what I think.
Yeah, the protest, that's what I meant. I think I said rally. I meant protest. If the protests can happen, the rallies can happen, and the rallies are going for a good cause.
So I work for a compounding pharmacy that specializes in peptides, and people just don't know the sorts of products that exist to protect you and to enhance your immunity. Thymosin alpha-1, just vitamin C, injectable vitamin C. There's no scientific studies to indicate that wearing a mask is more effective than just taking vitamins, even orally, but especially injectable vitamins and peptides. This is really a total non-issue, in my opinion, and there's just everything that was done without any scientific backing. It was based on projections. It wasn't based on scientific evidence.
So in terms, get some sun and drink some water that does not have fluoride in it.
Yes, fluoride free.
So another push that has kind of come along with the coronavirus is vote by mail. A lot of the leftist movements are wanting people to vote by mail instead of voting in person. Will you guys be voting in person, and what are your thoughts on the vote by mail?
I don't think vote by mail should happen at all, because that's open to scam, and that's what the left is pushing. They're pushing vote by mail because they want to fortify the numbers.
Because they're sore losers. That's what I say.
It's a totally insecure way to vote. Like, that's the whole problem with it. It's not secure the way that voting in person is secure. So there's just no good reason to do it. It's just you're opening up a can of worms and you're asking for trouble.
It's sad because when you have to push for voter ID laws, you want voter ID laws, and you get so much backlash for it. It shouldn't be that way, and it shouldn't be that way when somebody's carrying around a flag like this, and they get so much backlash for it. That's what I think.
One more question.
Yeah. So I noticed that you have a historic American flag. We're seeing a lot of leftist movements in the past, couple days, couple weeks of monuments being vandalized and torn down, statues being vandalized and torn down because these people are thinking that they're symbols of oppression. What's your response to these people that are advocating for the pulling down? I mean, Ilhan Omar tweeted out a couple days ago that she supports the tearing down of Columbus statues because she's behind, supporting the people that see that as oppression. What is your response to those happening?
I think it's heartbreaking. I think these people are trying to destroy our culture, is what it seems like. Yeah, they're trying to change our history. They're trying to destroy our culture, and it's just sad that it's happening. But you also see the American people coming out to protect those statues, and so the majority of people, I think, are against what they're trying to do.
All right.
Yeah, same thing. The Antifa members, okay? I think that they're bought and paid for by people in power to do these kind of things, to go around and cause trouble, and to claim that, people who support Trump are the racists, but it's all projection. I think it's all projection, and yeah. Another thing that I was going to say was... I'll wait on that one.
Sure. Well, thank you guys so much for letting us talk to you. Where are you guys from?
We're from around here. I am. Yeah.
I'm from Tampa, Florida, so made the trek all the way up here. Today. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out. Stay safe. Yeah.
Breitbart. We love you guys. Thank you guys for everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. You guys have a great night. Stay safe. Enjoy it. Oh.
You guys are Breitbart?
Yes.
Yes, the real news.
Thank you. All right, so thank you everyone for joining us. It's been quite an eventful evening. We talked to a lot of great people, and people are here all night, and we're all here all weekend to cover this and talk to some more people as well as covering the rally. So make sure you stay tuned to Breitbart News on Facebook. We are Breitbart on Instagram and Breitbart News on Twitter. Again, if you like this live stream, make sure to tune in tomorrow and Saturday as we continue our coverage on this rally. And like and share. We thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great night. Thank you.